Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to a new video. It's your boy J-Nark, aka Chris World, and today we are on to rebuild number 4 of the rebuild series, or realistic rebuild series. Today we got the Atlanta Falcons, and for some reason Bill O'Brien is the head coach, but nonetheless doesn't apply to us as he's not going to be implementing much. So we have 19 players ready to negotiate with us. So let's see what we got to work with here. Our kicker, Young-Hoo Koo, we should probably re-sign him. We only have 11 million in cap. We can't re-sign him. Keanu Neal, young safety, shouldn't be too much to keep, right? See if we can get him back. He's gonna test out free agency. Todd Gurley wants to test out free agency. Demonte Casey. Hold on. We don't even have a team. Okay, everyone's gonna end up testing free agency. We're gonna have 19 players walk from the looks of it. Fantastic. Whoa. All these guys are literally gonna walk. Okay. Nice. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, but I guess that's what it's gonna have to be. We don't have any cap. Maybe that's what's wrong with the Falcons. They don't have any cap. Like, what the hell happened to them? First off, we're going to have to move some players, honestly. But would the Falcons really move some players in real life? Let's think about that. Probably not. And everyone would be a penalty trying to move them. So it looks like these guys are pretty much stuck. Yeah, it looks like they're pretty much stuck, as there's literally no one we can move besides James Carpenter, who we could release. Get some money from that, from releasing him. He's a 32-year-old guard. We get some money from releasing him. But even then, it's like the Falcons have like nobody. Hold on. The Falcons have like nobody on their team. And it's like, dude, it's like this is what we're going to have to work with. Because there's like nothing. Yeah, this is literally what we're going to have to work with. And with a guy like Matt Ryan. Wait, I didn't even see Matt Ryan on there. Oh, okay. He's still there. He's a 79 overall. He's a 49 million in penalty. So that's kind of tough. But we have some free agents we could go after. As we have 19 million available in cap. Our receiver is going to stay the same, obviously. Quarterback, we're going to leave that alone. We don't have a running back. What we could do is draft a running back, so that's not a problem. And then tight end, we only have one tight end in Hayden Hurst. So I guess signing like a backup wouldn't be too bad. Wouldn't hurt the team too much, as we would give Tyler Croft just a cheap deal as to be like another option for the team. Left tackle, we have Jake Matthews. Left guard, we don't have anyone. We could obviously sign someone like Cordy Glenn just to provide depth at that position. Get Cordy Glenn, so we have a left guard. Center, we would need a center as well. Someone like Austin Blythe wouldn't be too bad of a player that we go after. So hopefully he signs with us with that deal. We have Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry. We're gonna keep that the same. D-end position, that's a position that needs some work, of course. But we have a D tackle and a right end. Okay, linebackers, not the greatest either, but we're gonna have to work with something here, as we don't even have a free safety as well. So I guess signing like Demarius Randall to a 3-year deal wouldn't be too bad to help us out. But we need some D linemen, that's for sure. And I guess we could sign Danico Autry, even though he's a veteran. We could sign him to a deal. And let's see if any of those guys sign with us, because the Falcons really don't have that much cap to work with. So we're really going to have to rebuild in the draft from the looks of it. So Austin Blythe accepted and the left guard accepted. So we got a center and a left guard, so that helps us out. So we're going to import the local file. Alright, so these are draft class, of course. We're going to scout the top players, as we are going to have a top draft, of course, a top pick. I think we have the 4th pick in the draft, of course. So we got these players all to look at. I've never looked at Trey Lance. He'll be a late 4th rounder. Interesting to see. We got Micah Parsons here as well. And then we could look at Penei Sewell. He'll be an early 1st rounder, of course. Okay, so let's advance to next week, see if we get any of those free agents. Demarius Randall and Danico Autry signed with us as well, so we got those backup positions. That's good. So we should only have 30K available in cap, which is true. And we're gonna have to really rebuild in the draft and see if we can get like players that will fit our scheme, because we need like linebackers. Tremaine Wakefield is a power rusher. He's going undrafted, so we need some like coverage guys. But it looks like, okay, so right outside linebacker they have Azeez Ojulari, who would be a mid-first rounder, and then there's also Chris Rumpf, who would be pretty good for us as well. So that's something to look at. There's Quincy Rozier. We can't actually see him as well. I don't know if we sent anything to anyone else, but let's see. We advanced to the next week. Okay, we didn't. So this is our last time scouting before we head right into the draft. And let's see, because I want to see if we could go like positional, see if we could go by like third round, see who's there, you know, because I kind of have an idea who we're picking first. And the cornerbacks here in the third round aren't too bad, honestly. Really some good third round corners right there, so I'm not too mad about that. Right outside linebackers look pretty good. Like that situation looks pretty solid if you ask me. And Zaven Collins doesn't look too bad as well. And then there's also Ronnie Perkins, but we didn't have enough points to look at him. So we're gonna head right into the draft. We advanced into next week. We're gonna start drafting. All right, so with the first pick, the Jaguars, they're obviously going to go with Trevor Lawrence. The second pick, the Jets are obviously going to go Zach Wilson. Third pick, the Dolphins are obviously going to go either offensive tackle or wide receiver. They go receiver, Jamar Chase. So that leaves the best player available with the Falcons being with Penei Sewell, or quarterback. You know, Falcons thinking of going with the future. They don't think of Justin Fields as the future, but they think of Trey Lance as the future. So that's who we draft. I know I'm going to receive some hate, but listen. It's a realistic rebuild. I mean, think about it. The Falcons do have Jake Matthews right now, who's playing okay, so that wouldn't be too bad, and that's too high of a draft pick. You know what I'm saying? It could happen. It could happen. So that is realistic because they do have the Falcons going with a quarterback with that pick. So don't hate on me. But that's who we pick right there. And Bengals select the tight end, which is pretty nice. Eagles select Penei Sewell. Okay, so let's go to our next user pick. So with our pick in this, let's look at who's scouted and who's available. So Chris Rumpf is available still, and that's who we're going to go with, right outside linebacker to help out the team. He's 72 overall. Not too bad. In the third round, you guys obviously know what we're going to try to go with. So Kylan Hill, running back, went to the Texans. So we have all the corners left, literally. Wow, that's crazy. All the corners literally got drafted. That's a shock to me, actually. That's actually very shocking because we scouted all of them. So real life, if Greg Newsome's still there, I think that's a player they go for. So we're going to draft Greg Newsome. He's a reach, 67 overall. He could develop, so there's a chance. Jared Patterson just went to the Jets, so we also want to go after a running back as well. So running back, with all these guys here, we're going to go for a guy who fits our scheme, Kenneth Gainwell. Ranked number 14 in true value. Drafted him at number 99, 75 overall, so not too bad. Not too bad whatsoever. So we're going to sim to the end of the draft and see what the last few picks were. So if we look at the draft recap and see what we did here, obviously we got quarterback of the future. We went for Trey Lance. We also got Gainwell. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown, a receiver, and a right end, and Tomon Fox. Not too bad. We didn't draft any offensive linemen in this draft, but nonetheless, we're still looking to build off and see. Obviously, this first year is going to be a rebuild year, so we're not too worried on how we're going to finish. We have 50 out of 75 players available, so this is what the offense looks like. We got the rookie running back, who's obviously going to be our starter. We have Trey Lance, who's going to learn from Matt Ryan, backing him up. This is what the O-line looks like right now. Not too bad, honestly, but not too bad. But receiver core is not too bad as well. And, with the defense, we have Chris Rumpf starting at that outside position. We don't really have that many linebackers, but that's all right. And D-line is okay. Quarterbacks are okay as well, but we're going to obviously need some upgrades. But right now, we're not too worried about that as let's see if we'll even have cap to buy a kicker, because we need a kicker. Younghoe Koo want to come back to the team. We got Younghoe Koo back onto the team. So that's all it took. What we also need, though, is some linebackers. We do need some linebackers, but We need one. We need one middle linebacker. One. So someone like Neville Hewitt, pass coverage middle linebacker. I feel like he'll fit our scheme very well. So we're going to sign him just to back up Deion Jones, just to help us out with that position. But nonetheless, let's sim to the middle of the season. Actually, no. Let's just sim to the playoffs and see how well we're doing. So we actually make the playoffs. We go 10-6. We win the division. We go 10-6. So the Falcons actually go back into the playoffs. That's very interesting to see. I didn't expect this. I expected us to have a down year. So maybe Matt Ryan got his thing together and started playing well again. We have an 81 offense with a 79 defense. We went 10-6. So we won 10 games this year. Our offense was 13th. Okay. And our defense was 29th. So we had a bottom tier defense, of course. But Matt Ryan had 30 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, along with a 101 passer rating and 66 completion percentage. Our rookie running back had 5 TDs and 865 yards. Not too bad, not too bad. And Ito Smith backed him up. Receiving, obviously Julio 8. He had 4 TDs of 1,100 yards. Russell Gage did good as well. And Calvin Ridley had 828 yards. Not too bad. And then defense, Deion Jones had 3 picks along with 3.5 sacks. Dante Fowler Jr. had 8.5 sacks, while Grady Jarrett had 8, and then Tobon Fox, rookie, had 5.5. Danico Autry had 5, and that's not too bad. And then interceptions, let's see if we had a good amount. We had 3 from Deion, 3 from AJ Terrell, 2 from Neville Hewitt, 2 from Kendall Sheffield, 2 from Demarius Randall, 1 for Isaiah Oliver, and 1 for Ricardo Allen. So that's really nice looking at as we made the playoffs. I mean, shoot, I really wasn't expecting us to make the playoffs, but let's see if we beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, as this is a home game. We lost 35-32, close game, but season's over. Why wouldn't we lose to the Buccaneers? But only lost by 3, so not too bad, not too bad. Our contract obviously is going to get extended, so I'm surprised we made the playoffs, but nonetheless, it still wasn't enough, and we still need to do a little bit more to see how how else we could do this. So Super Bowl is Chiefs Cowboys, so that's very interesting to see. Kenneth Gainwell got Offensive Rookie of the Year, so that's pretty nice. We got him there now, and we're not gonna really scout players. We're really gonna be focusing on like re-signing and free agency, because that's just the trend we're gonna do. And we have 18 players ready to negotiate. Let's see if we even have cap to afford any of these guys. So Calvin Ridley, 27-year-old receiver, he's in his prime right now. If we re-sign him, we won't be able to re-sign anyone else, so we got to keep that in mind as well. So Calvin Ridley, that's our guy, that's our receiver, so we got to definitely re-sign him. So we got Calvin Ridley back, so that's our receiver. We also have Foyesade Olakun, who's a pretty solid linebacker, but we won't be able to afford him, so we're going to have to let him test free agency. Hayden Hurst was solid. He was solid, so we're going to give him a deal as well. But he's already 29, so we might have to just let him walk as well. Isaiah Oliver, though, good corner, good young corner. Let's give him a deal, make sure he signs back. So we got him back, so that's pretty solid. And then Russell Gage, receiver. We still have Julio, and we also have the other guys, so I'm not too worried about that position. But the rest of these guys, we're gonna let them walk as well, as we're gonna need some cap. We're gonna have to see if we can move some other people, but Foyesade Olakun is going to be our biggest loss into free agency, but that's all right with me. But let's look at the team, see if there's some players that we could release for some cap. Julio, obviously not. Grady Jarrett, we would save some money releasing him, which I don't know if that would be a smart move. Jake Matthews, we can't get rid of him. And Charles Rumph is all right. Matt Ryan is regressing heavily, but he did have a pretty solid year, so we're going to have to keep him around again. But Grady Jarrett could be someone we move. And, you know, you never know if this is something they could do just for cap. But they could be like, Grady Jarrett had an off year. And we, like, but. Let's see. Let's just see what our, how much money we have to work with, actually. Let's see how much money we have to work with. We have $5 million available in cap. If we release Grady Jarrett, we can potentially get some younger guys in return, some free agents to help out the team overall. So I feel like, as sad as it is, this is something that we would do. Release him, and we would get like $11 million back. we would get about 11 million back, which would help us out with getting some free agency targets. So now that we have like 22 million available in free agency, now we could actually help out the team. So Matt Ryan's a 72 now, and Trey Lance is a 71. So Matt Ryan regressed even more. So this might be the chance that Trey Lance gets to start now. Running back, we're fine with Kenneth Gainwell. Fullback, we're good as well. Receivers, we're going to keep it the same. Tight end, we're going to need a tight end. And so I feel like the Falcons would go with deal with giving David Njoku like this. They would give him a deal. Left tackle, we still have Jake Matthews, who's been playing pretty all right. So that's a position we don't have to really worry about right now. And we're just going to give a backup a solid deal just to be a backup. Left guard, we need that position, and Connor Williams is a free agent, so he would be a perfect scheme fit as well. So let's see if we could sign this left guard to help out the team. Center, we have Austin Blythe still. Right guard, we still have Chris Lindstrom, and right tackle, we still have Caleb McGarry, and we would just need a backup for him as well. Chris Hubbard, not too bad of a backup, so we're gonna give him a deal. 1-year deal, see if he's can prove his worth. Left end is still a position that we need to address, but as of right now, our position we need to address is the D tackle position, and I feel like they would go with someone like Daquan Jones to help out the team. Daquan Jones wouldn't be too bad to help out the team. We give him a deal. He's not a replacement of our guy, but nonetheless he would help us out. Chandler Jones as a power rusher, I'm gonna be able to get him, and we would just need Kareem Martin to be a backup. But honestly, I think we would leave that position alone and worry about getting like a backup for Deion Jones. So someone like Jordan Hicks could definitely help out to be that backup, because Neville Hewitt did get a lot of interceptions for us. He got 2 interceptions, so that was pretty nice to see that he was able to produce for us. And Charles Rumpf is our backup, so he fits there nicely. And we could get Carter Coughlin as a backup as well. He's looking for a 4-year deal, so we could give him a deal like this. That'll keep him around long term. Corners, they're all right for right now, so we're going to keep that the same. And we're going to keep Demarius Randall there as our guy. And strong safety, that's a position we do not have, so giving someone like Will Parks a deal wouldn't be too bad as well. So I think that's something they would go for. But it looks like realistically we're gonna have to go from starting Trey Lance, because our boy Matt Ryan is a 72 now, and Trey Lance is a 71. So there's really no point in us keeping Matt Ryan if we had Trey Lance learn from him. So Carter Coughlin accepted the deal, so we got our backup. Let's go to next week of free agency. And with the next week of free agency, we got Connor Williams, David Njoku, and the backup left tackle rejected us, but that's fine with us. And going to the last week of free agency, let's see if anyone else accepted. So we got the backup right tackle and Chris Hubbard, so that's pretty nice to see. But as we go into the draft, we're not going to obviously look at the draft. We're just going to simulate it and see what happens. So let's do that. So now let's look at the draft recap. So with our first pick, we ended up getting a middle linebacker who's a reach, Dom Walters. And then we also got a left outside linebacker, backup left tackle, of course, another running back, a center, a safety, and another left tackle. So we ended up getting some players, but none of them will probably provide any, help for us, but that's okay. So with the first week of the season being here, we have a 75 defense. Very interesting to see, but we have an 80 offense. And with Matt Ryan being a 72 overall, we're going to end up starting Trey Lance over him. Trey Lance will get his first start at QB for the Falcons, as he is the first round pick. And as sad as it might be for the Falcons with Matt Ryan losing his starting position, his best case scenario to move forward with Trey Lance, as Matt Ryan is 72, so there's really no point of keeping him around. But nonetheless, these are receivers. This is the tight end core and defense. We do need some help on the linebacker position, but nonetheless, we should be all right. I thought we signed a D tackle. We ended up not signing a D tackle from the looks of it. So D tackle is going to be a position that's going to take a little bit of a hit. But nonetheless, let's see. I'm expecting this to be our down year. So nonetheless, let's go into the playoffs and see if they can prove me wrong. So we did not make the playoffs this year. We ended up going 4-12 with Trey Lance being our starter. Very interesting to see. But nonetheless, we kind of expected that as we went down with having Matt Ryan. So statistically, let's see what we did. So Trey Lance, our offense, we had the worst offense in the NFL. Okay. And we had the second worst defense. Trey Lance, not too bad. 29 touchdowns, 12 picks, 90 passer rating, 59 completion percentage. Not too bad. Kenneth Gainwell didn't do too much running the ball. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 1,000 yards receiving. That's pretty nice to see that he's developing for us. Defense, we had a good amount of interceptions from what I could see here. But pass rush was non-existent as the leader had 4 sacks, and that was Dante Fowler. We had 4 picks for A.J. Terrell, 2 picks for Will Parks, 2 picks for Jalen Hawkins, and 1 for the rest of these guys here. So very interesting to see. So we ended up having the worst offense. So with that being said, let's look at the overall of Trey Lance, see if he's progressed a little bit higher than Matt Ryan. So he's a 74 now. Matt Ryan's a 72. So obviously moving forward, we're gonna have to get rid of Matt Ryan and move him on. But offense nonetheless will do all right. Linebackers, we just need to get some more pass rush going on here. That's all we really need, some pass rush. I like our corners. I feel like they're some young corners that could do something for us. So let's into the Super Bowl. We got Buccaneers, Patriots, and actually I want to scout some players. Let's scout some players. I'm like, since we're gonna have a pretty early pick, I want to scout some D linemen. Even though it's something different that we don't normally do, I want to scout some D linemen, see what they could help us out, see what's good with that, and then we'll obviously draft into the first and second round. Why not? It wouldn't be too bad. I think it's time we look for a second left tackle anyways. So far, these left tackles aren't looking too good. Christian Fitzsimmons. So far, these left tackles aren't looking good at all. Andrew Burrell, late 7th rounder. Dean Flanagan, I'm expecting you to be nice. Wow, nothing. Nothing for those guys. And the right tackle, we got Deontay Birmingham. Undrafted Akeem Tiller. Early 3rd rounder, so hopefully he'll be around. But the DN position, that's really what we're going to need. Deion Ward. And then we also need the linebackers, yo. We need linebackers badly. So far, that's what it's looking like for the linebacker position. But next week, Buccaneers, Patriots, Super Bowl. Patriots ended up beating the Buccaneers. We have to re-sign some players, of course. Chris Lindstrom, our right guard. We're definitely have to re-sign him. We do have a lot of cap available, so that's good to see. But we're going to get back our star right guard, who's been playing phenomenal for us, and he wants to test out free agency. How much would the franchise tag cost for him? 14 mil. Let's keep that in mind. Austin Blythe wants a 1-year deal playing center for us, so we're going to give him a 1-year deal so we keep him around. He wants to test out free agency. Dante Fowler, he wants a 1-year deal. I don't think that would be too bad, honestly. Dante Fowler on a 1-year deal. So we keep him around. Kendall Sheffield, I like him as a corner, so we could keep him around as a depth corner as well. So we get Kendall Sheffield back. Caleb McGarry, right tackle. He still has a lot of promise, so we could keep him, even though he's 28, but he's asking for a 2-year deal, so not too bad. So we keep him around, solidify that position. John Kominski, depth D tackle, of course. Not too bad, though, as he has provided some good play for us. Kickers, so these guys, I don't really care for these guys as much, but it looks like we're going to end up using the franchise tag on Chris Lindstrom. I don't want to lose him. He's a good right guard with great run blocking and pass blocking, so we're going to have to keep him around. But nonetheless, let's go in the first week of free agency, see what is available for the Falcons as we try to make this team a playoff contender with Trey Lance being our quarterback. So it looks like Matt Ryan retired, so that's very interesting to see. So we're going to need a backup, so signing someone like Mason Rudolph to a backup deal wouldn't be too bad. Got Mason Rudolph as a backup. Running back, we have Gainwell, who's going to be fine there. And fullback, we're going to sign Jacob Johnson. Sign him to the deal. He'll be our utility back. Receivers, Calvin Ridley is really progressing nicely. I think our receivers are pretty well. We got David Njoku. We just need a backup tight end, so someone like Drew Sample wouldn't be too bad. Drew Sample onto the team. Okay. And then left tackle, we still have Jake Matthews playing pretty solid. He's still like doing pretty well, so don't have to really worry about that position. Center position, as we, guys keep leaving, guys keep going away. So we're gonna go with J.C. Treader. He fits our scheme well. We could give him a 1-year deal. provides that solidarity at that center position. And while the right side of the offensive line is pretty good, we're gonna, and because we re-signed Caleb McGarry, I don't want to sign a starter, someone to start over him. So we're just gonna sign a backup, like Caleb McGarry, keep developing on that side instead of, like, you know, ruining his reputation of wanting to play. And Marlon Davidson is there. D tackle, we can sign someone like Eddie Goldman to a deal. He will fit our scheme perfectly, help out with the pass rush, see if he can sign with us. We still have Dante Fowler, so we're going to go with the left end position. J.J. Watt's too much for us, and same with Olivier Vernon. But Morgan Fox would fit our scheme, and he would provide some veteran leadership. So that's pretty good for us. Middle linebacker, we need someone to back up Deion Jones badly. And let's see if anyone fits the scheme. Jordan Hicks, of course. See if you want to sign with us, because last time you didn't. And then right outside, Charles Rumpf, I'm okay with you there. Left outside linebackers, position of need. Rashawn Gary's a free agent. Maybe we could break the bank for him, sign him to a deal. Yeah, we signed him to a deal. Cornerback, not too mad at that position. Safety position, no, that's a position of need. And Will Parks, Jordan Poyer has a lot of deals coming for him. So, and he's not even asking for too much. So we could sign someone like Lonnie Johnson. Lonnie Johnson to a deal. So we just made some huge moves, making some huge moves in this. And then we just need a kicker, and Rodrigo Blankenship could do the deal for us. So let's see if we get these guys that we look for. Let's advance to next week, see if we sign any of these guys. Jordan Hicks, backup, safety, D tackle, center, quarterback, Rashawn Gary. Okay, so we got pretty much everything we were looking for. That's pretty nice. And I still want to go with a D end, see if we could draft a D end in maybe the first round. That wouldn't be too bad for us. Noah Simpson, left guard, mid third rounder. Larry Mullins, late second rounder. Daryl Wolford, late first rounder, not too bad. He probably could still be around. Right end, Donnell Guyton, not too bad. Middle linebacker, Christopher Fletcher, late second rounder. Dominique Hyde, right end, not too bad. Mid first rounder, okay. So those are the players we scouted. And let's see, we go to advance to next week, see if any of the other guys we try to sign with us. So we got the fullback as well. Okay. And then let's scout one more time. We're gonna scout one more time because we still wanna see if we could help this team become pretty nice. Will Callaway actually became a late first rounder, so that's a left tackle we could take a look at as well. As our guy is getting old, we have to keep that in mind. And we also need a center, so maybe if we could draft like PJ Young, late first rounder, not too bad. There's also Rashawn Mayberry, it's pretty good as well. And there's a 7th rounder in Jim Ambrose. He was projected to go undrafted. Interesting. And then right tackle, we're good on that. DN position, there's a lot of great right ends who were projected to go first round. So that's pretty nice to see that the right end position is pretty stacked this year. And then D tackle is a position that we have to kind of look at as well. There's Carl Brooks and there's Philip Sherman. 2 early first round D tackles, so that's not too bad. I don't remember who I signed at that position, so nonetheless, we're just going to see. Okay, so we have a 79 offense and a 79 defense right now. So this is what the offense looks like before the draft. So not too bad, not too bad. We have a good receiver core, good running backs. I'm not too mad with our receiver core at all. Defense is what the defense consists of. These are our players. We did sign Eddie Goldman to a deal, so that's pretty nice to see. We signed Eddie Goldman to a deal, so we could also draft a D tackle as well. That'll help us out. And let's go right into the draft. I'm excited. We're gonna start drafting. We probably have a high pick. We have the first pick in the NFL draft. Whoa, so we gotta pause the draft. We have the first pick. I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. Apparently Carlos Wheatley is supposed to go first. So we're gonna go either Wheatley or Deontay Bolden. So Deontay Bolden fits our scheme. So we're gonna go to D end, and that being said, we're gonna go with Carlos Wheatley, the best player available. He's ranked number 3 in true value. Drafted him at number 1. Very interesting, very interesting. Did not know we had the first pick in the draft. So we're gonna do our next pick. So the next pick we have with the first pick in the second round, of course. Let's go by scouted players. We have PJ Young, center, who we could draft to be the future for our center position. So we're going to draft him. PJ Young, good pick. 72 overall, ranked number 25 in true value. Drafted him number 33. So he will be the backup for JC Tretter once he leaves. So we're developing that. And then let's see if we get that right tackle. just to provide some, like, you know, depth for that position. And then we're going to simulate the rest of the draft. So if we can get that right tackle, that would help us out tremendously. Scouted, Rayshon Mayberry is still there. So that's very interesting to see. Maybe we could draft him. He's a mid-first round center. So, I don't know. But Akeem Tiller's here as well. And he's an early third rounder. We might lose him, but we can't give up on another center here. So he's ranked number 18 in true value. So we just got 2 centers right there. Very interesting to see. Even though that wouldn't really necessarily happen in real life, but the fact that he was still sitting there is something to keep in mind. And Akeem Tiller just went to the Patriots, so that's fine with us. We're going to advance to the end of the draft. Let's look at the rest of the draft recap. Let's see what the other players we selected. We ended up drafting 2 centers in a row, which might come back to bite us in the butt. But nonetheless, we got a receiver, a tight end, a left outside linebacker, and another D end. So that helps us out. We got some depth. We got some depth all around. It's very good to see. And we have a 79 offense and an 80 defense. Okay. So what the O-line looks like. We got the 2 young centers that we drafted. Very interesting to see. O-line is looking pretty stout though. I really like what the O-line looks like here. And tight end position is not too bad as well. We got a good amount of receivers. We got our boy Gainwell and Trey Lance in his 2nd year as a starter in the Falcons. This is what the front 7 looks like. Not too bad. D-line looks pretty solid as well, as Wheatley gets to start over Dante Fowler. Like we said, he's going to provide some depth for us. So I have a feeling we're going to be very good this year. If not, that's fine, but I feel like we'll be pretty nice. So we're going to sim to the middle of the season. We lost 6-3 to the Washington football team. What? What kind of loss is that? That looks like a horrible loss. I really hope we're not doing sorry this year. I really do. We're 4-4. We're 4-4. Okay, so we have tied wins as last year. So pretty nice to see. 80 offense, 80 defense. Okay. Offense is 6th in the NFL. Okay, so far looking good. Defense is 25th. Okay. Trey Lance, 16 touchdowns, 3 picks, 2,005 yards. Gainwell is playing pretty nice. Julio, Calvin Ridley, Amon-Ra, all doing pretty well. Pretty nice to see. Defense, Wheatley has 5.5 sacks, so he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good as a rookie. And Eddie Goldman has 4, and Rashawn Gary has 3. So the pass rush is there with those additions we got. So it's pretty nice to see that. And okay, let's sim to playoffs and see if we could sneak. Okay, we won 40-10 against the Green Bay Packers, but we didn't make the playoffs. We went 6-10. We were just 4-4. How do we win 2 games and lose 6? We just beat the Packers 40-10. But wow, we went 6-10. Dude, there's no way we lost 6 games. Our offense was 17th, and then our defense, I know our defense wasn't that good, but our defense became 5th in the NFL. They became 5th. Trey Lance had 30 touchdowns, 9 picks, 98 passer rating. Gainwell didn't have 1,000 yards, but he was all right. Receiving, Julio had 1,000 yards. He's playing well, of course. It's Julio. Defense, dude, what the hell happened? How do we? Okay, Carlos Wheatley had 10.5 sacks. Rashawn Gary had 6 sacks and a pick. Okay, not too bad for Wheatley, as he was a great guy for us. That's pretty nice to see. But damn, we didn't make the playoffs again. I'm kind of shocked by that one. I'm actually very shocked by that one. Okay, so when it's in the Super Bowl, this time obviously we're not going to focus on the draft or whatever, because I feel like our players definitely. Buccaneers, Jaguars again. Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl again. Wheatley though is a pretty nice addition we got. I'm glad we drafted him. Very glad we drafted him the first pick in the draft. He's been playing pretty well for us. Jaguars beat the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Deion Jones wants a deal. We have $113 million available in cap. We're going to give Deion Jones a huge bonus, of course. So please sign with us. We got Deion Jones back. We got our middle. We're going to let J.C. Tretter walk, of course. And then right guard, we got Chris Lindstrom. Of course, we're going to keep you around. Great player. We got Chris Lindstrom back to a 4-year deal. J.C. Tretter, thank you for your services. We're letting you walk. Eddie Goldman, you're asking for a 1-year deal. I think we'll re-sign you. You provided great depth for us. Jake Matthews, you're a pretty good left tackle. You're asking for $12 million. I'm not too mad with giving you a $12 million deal. You've been pretty solid. He's been like an 80 overall for the past couple of years, but he wants to leave. Franchise tagging would be how much? $21 million. Yeah, we can't franchise tag him. AJ Terrell, though. AJ Terrell, great corner. Get him back onto the team. He's an 82 overall. Isaiah Oliver as well. Great cornerback. Been playing pretty well for us. We're going to re-sign him. We got our both our starter cornerbacks are back. And then we got Connor Williams, left guard. It's been pretty solid for us. We're going to sign you back to the deal, so join us. We got our left guard back. Dante Fowler, we're going to let him walk. Punter, we don't really care for. Kominski, we're going to re-sign you, of course. You've been a great backup for us. But he said he's enjoyed playing. He's gonna test out free agency. Interesting. We have Marlon Davidson. It's been an interesting backup for us. We're going to see if we can re-sign him. So we do. So he provides depth for us. Michael Walker. Let's see if you accept this deal. Not too bad. You want to test free agency? Be my guest. I think we did draft our backup anyways. These guys we're gonna let walk while we have Michael Walker. We're not franchise tagging. TJ Vasher though. We're gonna see if we can re-sign you. If he doesn't accept this, we could let him walk. Okay, so we got TJ Vasher back, a 6'6" threat, and Matt Hennessy, backup left guard. Not too bad. And he's back onto the team. Pretty good. And so with the middle linebackers, we're going to let walk. So we re-signed a lot of players here. Re-signed a lot of players. And as we go into next week, we have 56 million available in cap, as we obviously don't have to pay our quarterback yet. Left tackle. With the left tackles available, with this young gunner and Jedrick Willis Jr. being available, I think the Falcons would go all out with trying to get him to provide that ultimate protection for Trey Lance. I think Jedrick Willis would be the guy they go after. Left guard is good. Center is good. Right guard is good. Right tackle, pretty solid. We're going to sign Morgan Moses to be a backup, of course, because Caleb McGarry is not really going to ever improve as a player, so we're going to keep that there. We got Morgan Fox there. D-line, we just need one more person to pair up there, so signing Raekwon Davis would be a perfect addition to having Eddie Goldman there, of course. Right end, we have Wheatley, who's a superstar. We have Rashawn Gary. Middle linebacker, we just have Dion, but we need a backup. So I feel like, obviously, they want to go young. So field general like Kenny Young, who's fast and strong, and he has good experience in the NFL, would be a great backup for Deion Jones. Right outside, we have Charles Rumpf. Corners are good. Free safety, we still have E. Rose, but this time we'll sign Bobby McCain to provide some veteran leadership in the backfield, of course. And then at strong safety, we just have Lonnie Johnson and Will Parks, and we're going to keep that the same, of course. So we're going to advance to the next week, see if we signed all those guys. If we did, we're going to be looking pretty good. So we got Kenny Young, D tackle, Morgan Moses, we got the left tackle and the safety. So now our team is looking pretty solidified. So we're going to sim to the draft. Let's look at the draft recap now. As with the draft recap, we ended up drafting a cornerback in the first pick, then a middle linebacker. Then we have right outside a D tackle, middle linebacker, right guard, and a corner. So pretty interesting to see what we went with in the draft, but very nice to see. So we advance to the next week and see we have an 81 offense and an 80 defense. I feel like this will be the year. Trey Lance is in his third year. He's a 78 overall. Gainwell is a 83. Ridley's a 93. Julio retired from the looks of it, so it's going to be Calvin Ridley and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I like our receivers here, so I'm not too mad. And with the offensive line with Jedrick Willis, that'll be a great addition for us. Mayberry is a 75 overall, so he's going to start, and we have Young as the backup. And defensively, we have Dion and Kenny Young, Charles Rumpf, Rashawn Gary, good front seven, good pass rush. I think this year is going to be a great year for the team. I feel like the Falcons will actually do something with Bill O'Brien as head coach. I forgot about that. But without further ado, guys, let's sim to the playoffs and see if we can do it. So we went 5-11. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just Madden simulation doing us injustice, because there's no way that we go 5-11. We went worse than last year. Our offense was 25th. And our defense was 31st. We had the second worst defense. So 30 touchdowns, 15 picks for Trey Lance. That kind of a down year. And it looks like our boy was injured. So Gainwell didn't play. But Lamont Bryan did. He had 4 TDs along with 835 yards. TJ Vasher had 1,000 yards, 7 TDs. So not too bad with our receivers. Defense, Wheatley had 9.5 sacks. Not too bad, of course. Rashawn Gary had 7 sacks. Helped us out, of course. Pass rush wasn't really there. We had 3 picks for Isaiah Oliver. But interesting to see that we didn't make the playoffs again. I thought we would do way better this year. But nonetheless, it's Trey Lance. Trey Lance now is an 81. So not too bad. I actually do believe in him. I actually very much do believe in him. So he'd be very interesting to see. David Njoku got injured. Same with Jedrick Willis. Jedrick Willis also got injured. So maybe that's a reason why we didn't do too well. And Rashawn Gary as well got injured. But I feel like this team is pretty solid. I mean, like probably one more year of rebuilding and just everyone progressing would be the deal. But nonetheless, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. That was the 4th team in this rebuild series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below when you want to see the next one. And without further ado, guys, see you in the next one. And remember, you got to be a fiend to succeed. Peace.